What up, everybody? It's your man Danell, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fatty, coming with another podcast episode of What's Up Omaha. And starting off, shout out to our sponsor, Peter Pit Omaha, Jake and Clark out there slanging food, good food, healthy food. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. Not necessarily about food, but about self-image, and you'll see the photo that I'll share if you're watching this. You'll see the photo that was shared on Facebook, and I was tagged in. It was from I don't even know what grade it was in. Probably senior year of high school, but it's a picture of me. And I look back at it. I'm looking all young, got the baby face and whatnot, man. And I just think that one of the things that goes under the radar and isn't talked about a lot for males, at least for men, is like self-image issues. I talked about this last year with one of my guests, just for a real short period of time, but yeah, man, about self-image. Of course, Omaha Fatty is my self-proclaimed title when it comes to food as an adult. Um, I lean into it, man. Like I've always had a belly, a gut, and I don't know, it's just a name that came to me and I like it. I love, it's something that I really like live by, right? Well, when I was younger, I always felt like, I mean, I was never like fat, like never like really like overweight, like, but I always had a gut. I always had, no matter how good of shape I was in, I always had a gut. And I feel like uh, at points in my life when I was younger, I didn't want to take my shirt off to go to the pool or whatever, just because I was self-conscious about it. And it's crazy, man, because I look back at the picture that was shared and I was like, dude, I totally was not fat, man. Even if I did have a little gut, like I was not fat. Um, and I don't know where that came from, and I don't know why. That was kind of the thought that I had, and uh, it wasn't like it was a huge issue. Like I was always like, oh my god, I'm fat. Like it wasn't like that. I wasn't like in a depressed state or anything like that, but it was just an uncomfortable thing for me. And I just don't know where that came from or why. I saw a video recently that made me think of it. And it was a lady who said when she was younger, she was always taught to finish whatever food was on her plate. And if you know me, and if you've ever heard me talking about eating when I was growing up, that was the same case for me. My dad was always huge on, like, back in the day, we used to go to buffets when we were kids. And, back in Ohio, we used to go to like Ponderosa or uh, Duff's. That was one of the places that we used to like to go, man. And, you know, sometimes your eyes are bigger than your stomach, and you would just pile as a kid, 6 years old, 7 years old, you're just piling food on your plate. And pops is like, hey, if you put that on your plate, you better eat it. And you'd be sitting down and eating, and you know like you start to get full because you got so much food, and you didn't need all that food, but it's a buffet, so you're trying to grub. And there's always one specific time that I really remember it being an issue. And uh, like we had all went out to eat, and I was full. I was like, Dad, I can't. I'm I don't want to eat anymore. And he's like, No, you put that on your plate. You better finish it. And it was never a thing like I was going to get beat or something like that. That wasn't the case. But he was just like, you can't be going around wasting food. So, man, I tried to power through and eat more food, and I felt horrible, horrible. And on the ride home, I was laying on my sister's lap because I wasn't feeling good. I was so stuffed, man. And then before I know it, or before I knew it, and I'm sure my sister will never forget it either because it was all on her lap. Like I earled all on her lap. And yeah, man, that's just one thing that really sticks out to me. So whenever I get food, even into adulthood, I always try to like finish my food. And even if I was full, like it was just a thing that stuck with me. And in the video that I saw of the young lady who said, and she was a little bigger, um, but she was saying that she was always told to eat all the food on your plate, but she was never taught when to stop eating, like an actual level, like to stop eating when you're full. So she had always carried that around with her. And I think it might have been on TikTok. I'm not sure. There's so many different platforms that I'm always trying to jump back and forth between. But man, that made me think about it. So seeing that video of that young lady, and also around the same time that that picture was shown, and I was just like, man, I was small, man. I was, you know, I wouldn't even necessarily consider myself chubby. Like, I just had a gut. Like I was always a little dude. Like, I'm like just under 5'5". Like I'm not a tall dude at all. And yeah, man, just seeing that picture, I was like, what was I thinking, man? Like why? Why did I think that way? I don't know what pressures were put on me, societal pressures or what. There was never anything in my home, like my parents weren't pushing like, hey, you need to lose some weight or something like that. Like, so I really don't know where that comes from. So I just want to, if any youngsters, actually anybody in general, if you see this, um, just know that there are things that you can do to try to start eating a little better. I talk about being on a weight loss journey because as an adult, I make whatever choices I want, right? Like I can fill up a plate. I'm not really going to buffets these days, even before COVID. So that's not necessarily an issue. But there's still times where I get a lot of food and maybe I'm full, but it's so good that I'm like, ooh, I want some more. And I probably eat more than I should. Um, but I control it now. It's never been like a thing where I'm like, oh man, I have to finish this. Like some years ago, I realized that I don't have to clear my plate. If I'm full, I can stop eating. Like I'm not held to that standard of clearing my plate. I do try to make sure that the kids kind of understand that though, like, hey, don't be wasting food. But sure, go ahead. If you're gonna eat it, save it for later. That's cool. Just don't put it in the fridge if you're not going to eat it and just let it sit there and get bad. That's my pet peeve is like wasting food in that way. Like if you're not going to eat it, just throw it away or ask someone else if they want it. And if they don't, throw it away if you're not going to eat it. Like, uh, but yeah, man, I just felt compelled to talk about that. And, you know, parents, if you think anything like that might be going on with your kids, just talk to them about it because it's such a unneeded stress for to walk around thinking that like you're overweight, and society is crazy still with models always being thin and whatnot. But I will say we have come a long way, and you got plus size models everywhere now, so that's always cool to see. But yeah, I just again, society is crazy. I always remember uh, when Nintendo Wii first came out, and we had the Wii, and we got the Wii Fit, and my daughter, because she was the one, she really wanted it, but we got the Wii Fit or whatever, so we could exercise while playing games, like many people, and we got the balance board, and you do the BMI test, and she's like 6, at the time, maybe 7. She's young. I don't know, but I always remember her getting on this balance board, and it, we kind of makes you feel a little bad. It can, like, if you haven't logged in and worked out for a while, it's like, yo, where you been? Or like if one of your family members logs in, it's like, hey, we haven't seen Danelle for a while. What's he up to? But like, it's like we take some shots at you, man. But yeah, man, she got on the board, and I just remember it saying that her BMI was high. She's like 6'7", and she didn't even have a gut. Like, why are you programming this to tell young kids that their BMI is too high? Like, my there's never been a weight issue with my daughter. Like, the doctors have never said anything, and she's neither one of my kids. If anything, my youngest has been too small, where they're trying to be like, hey man, she needs to grow more. But I just always remember that, and it gives you like a little dumpy avatar, like you're me, when it tells you that you're overweight or that your BMI is too high. It's all like slouched over and like sad, like shoulders are all low, and it's like your BMI is too high, you should be ashamed. Like, man, people are built different. Like, I don't know what 6 and 7 year olds they're polling for these stats, but that's not cool to be saying to a kid. So yeah, man, it can come from anywhere. I don't know. And again, for me, I just don't know where it came from. But I just had that feeling, and it took a while to get over that. And I lean into my fat now, baby. Omaha fatty, that's what it is. But yo, man, I just really did want to touch on that and just say, hey, like, self-image is a real thing, man. Like a jaded self-image. So just parents, if you see anything like that with your kids, maybe sit down and talk to them and say, hey, why are you feeling like this? Or just try to get them. I don't know what can be done, or because sometimes it doesn't matter what people say. You just have it in your mind and you're stuck in your way that this is what it is. But I just couldn't believe how small I looked when I looked back at that picture. And I'm like, dude, where was my mind at back then? Like, I don't even know. Like, and I've always thought that I'm an attractive gentleman. So it's just crazy that I thought, even with all that, thinking that I was, and this is probably up until at least my late teens, I did, of course, get a little fat once I got out of high school and stopped, like, you know, being super active. I was going to there was a time in my life when I was like 19 and I was going to the gym like 5 to 7 days a week, and I was trying to gain weight, man. I was like, if I could just get up to 185 pounds, like I'm eating or I'm drinking protein shakes and eating protein bars, just lifting and just trying to get, some size on me. And then I stopped working out and like, uh, man, that I would never forget that, man. Like I stopped working out and gained weight because I stopped working out, but I was eating the same. But yeah, man, and that's why I wanted to shout out Peter Pitt today too, because sometimes you just want to eat out. A home cooked meal doesn't do it, and there are still healthy options out there if you want to select something healthy. Pita Pit, they have the pitas. You can get all the veggies that you want. You can do, without meat if that's what you're going for. Just whatever it is, they try to help out and just give you healthy options. So they got the rice and quinoa bowls that they just released this summer. So there's a lot of options out there. That sounded funny. There's a lot of options out there. So shout out to Jake and Clark at Peter Pitt, 120th and L. But yeah, check those guys out. They're my sponsors. Thank you guys for being sponsors. Yeah, man, just be aware of people's minds and their thoughts, because you just never know, man. You never know. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoy the photo if you're watching this on YouTube, but check out the high school photo. Yeah, baby face, man. If I shave, I kind of look like that now, but it's a little different. Haven't changed much though. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Please help us grow the podcast. You can share it. You can like it. Like, share, and subscribe. Please, if you're checking this out, like, share, and subscribe. That's what it's all about. I'm trying to grow Omaha Fatty and reach more people and just, I don't know, man, have a good time. Small Guy Promotions too. I mean, that's what it's all about, is reach more people. Small Guy and Omaha Fatty are the same. Small Guy just doesn't focus on food as much as Omaha Fatty does. So that's what it is, man. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy the weather. We've had some decent days where it's been like a high of 85. You know that the heat is coming back, so enjoy it while you can. Smile, help someone else smile. Laugh and help someone else laugh all day, every day. Shout out to Peter Pitt. Yeah. Peace out.